Good health is the first wealth, and to ensure that, you need to eat lightly, breathe deeply, exercise regularly, and most important, you need to trust your doctor. Hi, I am Pooja Khanna Nigam, and today I have very special guest with me, who is a frontline warrior, Dr. Rashri Joshi Shanbag, pediatric with the experience of more than 20 years and very down to earth and humble person. Hello, doctor.
Hello.
Thank you so much for taking out time from your busy schedule.
It's my duty to.
Today, I'm going to ask you some very frequently asked questions by parents. Their concerns that they share with us during open house sessions. So, shall we start?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, first question has been asked by a parent of a 3-year-old, and she said, "My baby does not sleep at night. What should I do?"
Okay. This depends. The sleep pattern of the kid depends according to his age.
Okay.
Usually, the newborn usually they don't sleep at night. They have a sleep which pattern which is different than normal people. They usually sleep during the daytime and they are awake in the night. That is because that is the pattern they follow when they are in the womb. So as they approach 3 months to 6 months, their sleeping pattern changes.
Okay.
So most of the times, the older kids when they don't sleep, it is usually there is some physiological problem rather than some pathological problem in that. It's
Okay.
usually that during the daytime they might be taking a nap which is too longer, or they must be taking a nap which is nearer to the evenings. So what happens is their sleep cycle has finished and they start remaining active during the night time.
Okay.
So what parents should do is either they should not allow the child to sleep in the evening times. Better to schedule it in the afternoon before 3, so
Okay.
that by 4 o'clock the child is active and playing around. Let him be active during the evening times, like playing around outdoor games or either cycling or some games in the outdoor games he should play, so that at night they are go off to sleep very easily.
Easily, yeah.
Night time, the mother should not cuddle them and keep them on their lap. They should be allowed to sleep on their own on their backs. Usually, kids are more comfortable to sleep in the prone position, but
Okay.
that is a dangerous position to sleep. So, you should keep them on the back and pat them so that they sleep on their own. Keep the night time very pleasant, like either a music or soft music, classical music. They let them hear that, or some songs, such a way that they should be comfortable in the night time.
Okay.
Don't let them see any uh, uh, what you say, like
Videos, rhymes, and
movies
cartoons,
or
such
cherry
things.
or crime related things in the night
Okay.
time that will disturb their sleep in the night. So they should be in a very pleasant and comfortable position so that they sleep properly at night.
Okay, I think this is very helpful tip for every parent. Now, next question is, what is colic pain and is this normal?
Colic pain usually is seen in the first 6 months of age.
Okay.
A small baby usually is either a breastfed or a bottle fed baby. So
Okay.
they usually, while feeding, they take in lot of gas, which
Okay.
they usually pass during the daytime. But sometimes what happens is in the evening times they get this colic. Usually the colic is scheduled in the evening times after 5 or 6. They sometimes cry for half an hour to 1 hour, maybe sometimes for 3 hours also, incessantly. Usually the colic pain is such that till the time they start crying, they are comfortable playing around, and suddenly they start crying in a very shrill cry with drawing their hands
Okay.
and legs towards their body, and they are very comfortable when they are taken on the shoulder.
Okay.
This will put the pressure on their stomach and the colic pain reduces. They are
So
usually
what should we
comfortable
give
with
them,
the
doctor?
family members.
what should we give them if they cry like this because of this pain? Gripe water or something?
Uh,
I've heard about
no,
that. Is it good to give them?
no gripe water. The
Okay.
gripe water usually contains alcohol because they want them to make them sleep away. So,
Okay.
but this is not required. We can give something like Colicade or Colimax, which contains dill oil and simethicone, which comforts the gaseous pain. So usually this medicine you should give and take them on the shoulder and move around for at least 15 to half an hour, 15 minutes to half an hour. The colic pain will reduce by half an hour. They usually go off to sleep after that, and when they get up, they are usually comfortable. If at all, if you feel they are not comforted with the medicine, even after taking on the shoulder, it's better to contact a pediatrician.
Sure.
But as most of the times, it's a normal thing which happens in the 3 months to 6 months age.
Okay. So nothing to worry about because it's a
Mostly in
normal
the
thing.
water
It
field.
happens. Okay.
Yeah.
So moving to our next question, is it safe to give polio drops or vaccines to a child during this pandemic?
Yes, absolutely. It's a polio is something which is more dangerous than this pandemic.
Okay.
It cripples somebody's life. It can be dangerous to life also. So polio
Okay.
we cannot neglect. We have to give the vaccine. It's a oral drop and it is stored in a very hygienic manner. So chances of getting any problem because of polio drops is very less.
Okay.
And they usually give it in a proper center. And at present also they are taking proper care so that there is proper social distancing and it is given hygienically. So I think pulse polio should not be avoided.
Okay. आई थिंक कि सभी पेरेंट्स को अपने बच्चों की पोलियो ड्रॉप्स को मिस नहीं कराना चाहिए बिकॉज आई थिंक अभी काफी पेरेंट्स ने मिस कर दिया है बिकॉज ऑफ दिस पैंडेमिक दे थिंक इट इज नॉट सेफ तो काफी बच्चों ने मिस किया
Not
है पोलियो
only the
ड्रॉप्स
polio vaccine. It's not only the polio vaccine. All the vaccines should be given on schedule.
ओके
You can always call up your pediatrician, schedule the meeting, and then give the vaccine, so that
ओके
your whatever scare you have, it will be taken care of. And obviously, the pediatrician himself or herself knows that a vaccine child should not be made waiting
या
to
ट्रू
wait in the consulting. So usually we can schedule the vaccine timings and give the vaccine. So none of the vaccines should be avoided in this pandemic.
Next question is regarding COVID-19 only. That how can parent differentiate between common cold and COVID-19 because symptoms are almost same. So
Yeah.
how can they differentiate?
First of all, in kids, COVID 19 has not caused much of a problem.
Okay.
Even if it is affecting adults, the children are by far have been spared. Either they are asymptomatic or they have very mild symptoms.
Okay.
It's usually a kid who is come in contact with an adult at home who has a COVID.
Okay.
Otherwise, most of the kids have been spared. Common cold is usually it's a simple thing which is common in everybody. So it's only sneezing, some headache, some cough, and mild fever. But in COVID or any other flu, it's a high grade fever.
Okay.
Along with that, they will have loss of sense and sense of smell and
And
taste.
taste.
But it's difficult to bring out in a small child who will not
Okay.
be able to communicate you about the smell and taste.
True.
Other things are common like there is lot of myalgia. There's a lot of pain, body ache.
Okay.
There is headache, and there is usual symptoms of flu like cold, cough.
Okay.
But after the recovery from usually common cold or a common flu lasts for only 3 to 4 days.
Okay.
But COVID is lasts for a longer time. It takes about 8 days to 2 weeks for it to heal. Even if the fever has gone, the after symptoms remain for at least 14 days.
Okay. When should child start speaking? Uh, this question has been asked by a parent of a 4-year-old. Their child has completed 4 years and still she is not able to talk. So, is this normal, or
It's not normal.
they should
See,
consult a doctor?
by 6 months, child starts babbling, making
Okay,
sounds. That is the start of the speech in a child.
okay,
By 12 months to 18 months, they start comprehending. Means they start understanding what you are talking
yes,
and what you are pointing to. And by 18 months, at least they will be pointing to their body parts.
okay,
So, if that child who is 4 years old has achieved all these things on time, there is no reason why he should not speak at 4 years. So, usually by 2 years, they should be making two word sentences.
okay,
So, like pani do,
yes,
khana do. So, two word sentences should come by 2 years.
okay,
And speech starts at 18 months.
okay,
And understanding speech starts at 12 months. So if this has happened on time, then it is normal. If this has not happened on time, it is abnormal. We have to consult a speech therapist.
speech
Usually, a
therapist.
speech
Okay,
therapist will do audiometry, see
okay,
whether he is listening to high intensity and low intensity sounds,
okay,
and accordingly we will be able to make out whether there is hearing loss which is causing the speech delay,
okay,
or he is not learning the speech, or there are some things like autism and all where there is
okay,
speech is delayed. So at 2 years, it's an alarm that you have to consult a pediatrician, so that the workup should be done as early as 2 years to 2.5 years. So speech
okay,
therapy has to be started before 3 years.
okay. Okay, doctor. Now, next question is how to stop bedwetting. This is very common question, doctor. How to stop bedwetting?
See, as long as bedwetting is concerned, till most of the kids are bedwetting by 6 years also. Some
Okay,
of them till 10 years. So
okay,
this is considered as normal.
okay,
Uh, there are some medicines which can make the child dry, but
okay,
these act only till the time they are used. Once you stop the medicines, you are back to square one.
okay.
So best thing what to do is, don't shame the child.
This is
Don't tell
important.
anybody that your child is bedwetting either in the daytime or nighttime. This should never be told to anybody in front of him. Don't keep on telling him or her that this is wrong, you should not be doing this. Usually, over the age, they come out of this.
Okay,
Some kids take time, some kids do it at earlier times, but most of them get controlled. It's basically the coordination between the bladder and the brain which is more important, which doesn't happen in some kids till the age of 6 years.
six.
So usually what you should do is, after 6 years, if they are still bedwetting, usually the bedwetting stops in the daytime, it continues in the night time. So it is called nocturnal enuresis. If they
Okay,
are doing it in the daytime also, it is both. There
okay,
is something like primary, means from birth they have not never got a control on the bladder, or
okay,
secondary is after infection. So if it is because of some infection or some problems, then we can settle those problems and they will be okay. If it is primary, that is, it is continued from birth till the age of 6 years, for that we don't have a medicine. You can't
okay,
treat the thing. Only thing is that those medicines will control the child till the time you train them. You
okay,
have to positively reinforce them. So when you can restrict the fluid for to some extent, but totally restricting fluid is not possible, because kids will not listen to you when they are thirsty. They obviously will drink water.
yes, all, of course.
So you can't stop it. But as far as possible, in the nighttime, fluid intake should be reduced. There are something called alarms which is available, but
Okay,
you may not. Those alarms are supposed to, whenever the child wets the bed, those alarms go off, and they come to know they have done they have passed the urine on the bed. So
okay,
this will keep a positive enforcement on them that they should get up when they are wet. The moment they start getting up when they are wet, then they will slowly come out of this and start going. to toilet before passing the urine.
Okay.
But these alarms are not used in India, so the mother is the alarm for them.
True. Actually,
whenever, whenever they pass urine, they have to wake them up so that
actually.
they know they have passed. And this way, positively, you can make them. But over the years, they usually get controlled. So don't worry about it. It's not a big problem, and it should not stress out. The kids should not be stressed out for that.
Very true. Now, you want to give any tips to our parents how they should celebrate Diwali with their kids?
Diwali is a festival of lights, and for kids, it is more of fireworks. But I think the fireworks are the most dangerous for the kids because the fumes which are emitting from them and the sound both are toxic to the child. So, as far as possible, just light diyas,
Okay.
eat sweets, and celebrate the Diwali without the fireworks.
Thank you so much, doctor. Thank you for all the tips and wish you a very happy Diwali. And
Thank you so much. Same to you.
thank you for making time for this
Yeah,
interview.
it's my
Thank you
pleasure.
so much. Thank you. So, if you are looking for a good pediatric for your child, then you can contact Dr. Rashi Joshi Shanbag, who is a newborn and child specialist. Her contact number and address is already mentioned in the description box. That's all for now. Thank you so much. Wishing you all a very happy Diwali from Saplings Nursery.